Good morning, everyone. This is the module 1, the knowledge, geospatial infrastructure, and AfCFTA. At the start of this module, I make reference to an important report published by the World Bank recently. It's contain very important information about world commerce or service based on data. And you will see in this graphic the increase on the data driving services. And this has been impacted in 2 recent years by the COVID pandemic. You will see the figure. This make a reference to this is just to show you the importance of the data in the transformation strategies that we are making at regional, sub-regional, and national level. The pandemic has shown us the need for these transformation strategies. We are obliged to do teleworking, to work from our home, to do e-commerce using various platforms, to be involved in the vaccination. We have to register online, etc., etc. And for these strategies to be successful in the implementation, we need appropriate data infrastructure. And this graphic is showing one aspect of this data infrastructure and the difference between the north and the south. The pandemic has shown us that in some countries, in some part of the countries, there is a real need to reinforce the digital infrastructure to allow people access this data, access the services. And it is also important to remember that every activity is done somewhere. The location is very important in every aspect of our life. And we have a geospatial industry that, and also geospatial digital ecosystem helping us to collect the geospatial data, to process it, to diffuse it, to use it in various aspects of the economy. We are using in our smartphone GPS. Even some smartphones are capturing in 3D now. And this is very important because For the data, we need appropriate technology to collect this data. You have seen how the drone has been used in the pandemic, for example. And this data is collected for the sake of socio-economic development, sustainable development. And this figure shows you the link between the geospatial data acquisition methods that has been presented in the precedent slide, and at the right, the sustainable development goal that each country is planning to attain by 2013. To resume, to give a schematic view, we have various methods now to capture, to collect, to verify data, to process it, geospatial data. We have satellite imagery coming from remote sensing, from satellites, from drone, area survey, total stations, 3D capture, etc. And there is also other important set of data coming from census, from surveys, and from other socioeconomic, education, health, agriculture, industry. All these sectors are collecting and processing data, and our objective is how to link the geospatial data with related statistical and other source data to respond to the sustainable development goal. And as I said, this is really embracing the whole sector of the economy. This means that even if you look at the origin of the participants for this course, you find them are coming from planning, from health, from education, from industry, agriculture. This means really the variety of sources, origin, and also possibility of usage of this data, information, and knowledge. An important element is the benefits and value of using the geospatial information. Try to provide some concrete figure on increased efficiency, improved productivity, improved planning, better monitoring, and improved transparency. Because we are speaking about national spatial data infrastructure, about open data, and speaking about open data is also a means to improve transparency. The economic impact of geospatial information is a very important element. It can be measured on the consumer on the business and also see it as societal benefit. The slide provides some figure that can introduce to the subject, but we will have study case, more detailed study case during the course on this in socio-economic impacts of using geospatial information and data. An important also element is the necessity to integrate within an organization, within the business, the geospatial data and the other data. Actually, in many cases, they are separate silo. The business data is treated with some, in some silo, as I said, separately from the geospatial. The GIS are placed in other components, and we can't really find integration between these two systems. And this is not good. We have to try to integrate the two systems to benefit from all the positive impact of this. The geospatial data and SDGs are linked. We have already seen that. And in this figure, we see that almost 40% of the SDG target rely on geolocation and Earth observations. And this table provides the link between the data teams and sustainable development goals. In the data team, you found addresses, elevation, transport, networks, geology, land parcel, etc. And we found the link between all this data team and the sustainable development goal. And this slide provides an example for SDG 2, zero hunger, and how to use Earth observation in this thematic. Has been said already that in Africa we have a specific context. We have the agenda for sustainable development. We have the agenda African Union for the Africa we want, and there is some other thematic agenda, urban, land, etc. And all this agenda has to be considered when we are implementing, designing systems for geospatial data. This figure slide confirm that in this pyramid we have the SDG at the top, and we see here a link to the national data infrastructure is a part of the national information system with the Earth observation, with the statistical system. All this constitutes a system that we will use in this course. And for this, ECA with the framework of GGM Africa, the group of experts on global geoinformation management, has designed a plan 2016-2013 for the African countries to harness the geospatial information for the sustainable development goal. There is a document and the link, the reference is provided for this. We are considering the African continental trade area. We know that the regional economic communities are a very important part on the process. We know that the e-commerce is really increasing in Africa, and we will see how this e-commerce is evolving. And the figure provides the link between the e-commerce, the digital economy, and the national economy. And we will see what are the components of this in some of the African regional communities. We have also seen that the COVID has an important impact on e-commerce in Africa. There is a study from UNECA on this, and is providing very important statistics on the digital marketplace, on the share of mobile e-commerce, and in this module we will use a study case on using GIS on sub-regional e-commerce, making reference to a study made in Central Africa, providing information on the methodology, acquiring data, harmonized data, how the machine learning, the artificial intelligence has been used, and the product of all this process. And also the various set of data that has been used, socioeconomic data, physical data, data coming from census, data coming from survey, etc. And this really is a concrete case on how all this element, how this geospatial knowledge is used in the implementation of the AfCFTA. This study is about the transport corridor in Central Africa using data from census, socioeconomic data, agriculture, energy, renewable energy, and other interesting sectors and activities in the region to show the potential of economic areas within the corridor in Central Africa. That means that really this case, we'll try to have a webinar, a specific webinar, in which this study will be presented in details, and it also will serve us, will guide us on the application model, where we are trying to use the same approach in other African region. This ends the presentation of this model, and thank you very much.